So most people are told that if you're going to use credit cards, you should just pay them off on the due date. And on the surface, that sounds like solid advice. But in this video, I'm going to explain why that guidance can be a little misleading and in some situations, even incorrect, and how following it without understanding the details could be keeping your credit score lower than it needs to be. Because the reality is, there is a better day to pay your credit card balance, one that can help improve your credit score while still avoiding interest entirely. So, in this video, I'm going to walk through my own credit card statements and show you exactly how I pay my cards as someone with a credit score in the 800s, so you can see how this works in real life. And along the way, I'm going to answer some of the most common credit card questions that people have but don't always feel comfortable asking. Now, before we get into any of that, we need to start by talking about why paying your credit cards on the due date isn't always the best move. And the main reason comes down to how a credit score is actually calculated. More specifically, it comes down to the two biggest factors that get affected every single month when your credit card statement comes through. The first is payment history, which makes up about 35% of your credit score. And the second is amount owed, which makes up roughly 30%. So together, these two factors account for the majority of what is changing on your credit report each month. Now, payment history is pretty straightforward. All it measures is whether you've paid your credit card bill on time or at least by the payment due date. Your goal is to have 100% on-time payment history. And to understand how that works, you first need to understand how credit card statement is created. Every time you get a credit card statement, it covers a specific date range called your billing cycle. For example, on one of my own credit card statements here, you can see that this billing cycle is 30 days. Since my statement closing date here shows November 26th, it therefore means that my 30-day statement has an opening date of October 27th and the closing date of November 26th. During that entire date range, your credit card issuer is simply tracking all of the purchases and transactions that you make on that card. Once that statement closing date of November 26th is reached, all of those transactions get added up, and you're left with what is called your statement balance, which is sometimes also listed as your new balance. In this example, my statement balance or my new balance comes up to $89.08. Now, once the statement closes and that balance is set, you typically have about 3 to 4 weeks before the payment due date, which in this case is December 23rd. And you'll see that listed at the top of your statement as well. That window of time between the statement closing date and the payment due date is known as the grace period. If you want to avoid paying interest and make sure your payment is counted as on time for your credit score, all you have to do is pay the full $89.08 statement balance during that grace period by making sure you pay it no later than December 23rd. Now, here's where a credit card company makes things a little bit confusing. They'll also show you a minimum payment, which in this case is $50. And they'll tell you that if you pay just that amount, it still counts as an on-time payment. Technically, that is true. But what they don't tell you is that if you only pay the minimum, the remaining $39.08 gets carried over to the next statement. And that is when interest starts to kick in. And with credit cards interest rates often sitting around 24% APR or higher, paying only the minimum is the fastest way to start paying unnecessary interest. So, the golden rule and the first takeaway from this video is simple. When it comes to payment history, you need to make sure that you always pay your statement balance in full and on time by the payment due date each month. A couple of quick bonus tips here. If you accidentally miss your payment due date, don't panic. Credit bureaus will not report it as late until it is 30 days past due. With that said, you don't want to make it a habit. If you catch the mistake and pay before 30 days past due, your credit score is not going to be affected, although you might get a late fee, which in my case, my bank will charge me $20. If you ever miss a payment, just call your credit card issuer, explain it was a one-time mistake, and ask for the late fee to be refunded. In my experience, this often works. And if the issuer refuses to refund it, it might be time to switch to a better credit card that treats its customers fairly. Quick reminder, if money is tight and you want to find the leaks in your budget, you can download my free Spending with Purpose tracker. It's designed to help you budget smarter and put more money towards your debts so you can become debt-free faster. I've included the link in the description just under the subscribe button. Using that link could be the small step that makes a big difference on your path to financial freedom. And as always, thanks to everyone who shares my content. It really helps me keep making these videos and continue helping more people take control of their finances. So far, hopefully everything I've explained makes sense, because that is basically how paying your credit card bill works if your main goals are paying on time and avoiding interest. But what we haven't talked about yet is the other big factor that affects your credit score, which is amount owed. And honestly, this is the one that trips people up the most, often lowering their score without them even realizing it. The key part of amount owed that we want to focus on is called credit utilization. Credit utilization just shows lenders how much of your available credit you're using as a percentage of your total limit. Lenders care about this because if someone is consistently using a high portion of their available credit, it can be seen as risky, meaning that person might be more likely to run into trouble paying it back compared to someone with a lower utilization. Credit utilization is calculated like this. Take the statement balance on the card and divide it by the credit limit for that card. It's actually looked at both per card and across all your cards combined. Most online advice says to keep your utilization below 30%, but ideally below 10% for the best effect on your score. In my experience, if you really want to maximize your credit score, look at low single-digit percentages like 1%, 2%, or 3%. Anything above 10% might be keeping your score slightly lower than it could be, and anything above 30 to 50% can cause a much more noticeable drop. The good news is that credit utilization can be controlled, especially if you understand your billing cycle and add one extra step on top of what we already talked about. So let's go back to my own credit card statement example real quick. As I mentioned, my billing cycle ran from October 27th to November 26th, with November 26th being my statement's closing date. On that date, my statement balance was $89.08. But here's the thing, without knowing my credit limit, that balance alone doesn't really tell me much. An $89.08 balance could be good or bad depending on your limit. In my case, it is actually a very good balance because my credit limit on this card is $30,000. That means my credit utilization ended up under 1%, showing the credit bureaus that I'm using some of my available credit, but not too much. Now, here's the twist. My statement balance was actually supposed to be much higher, and my utilization would have been over 16% for this billing cycle, which would have caused my credit score to dip. To avoid that, I made a large extra payment before my statement closing date, okay? If we look at my transactions, I made several purchases totaling $5,097.28. Dividing that by my $30,000 limit, it gives me utilization of 16.99%, which is more higher than the single-digit rate I need to be in. So what I did was pay $5,008.20 before the statement closed. That left me with the $89.08 statement balance, which kept my utilization under 1% when my statement officially closed on November 26th. From there, I had several weeks of a grace period to pay the remaining $89.08 interest-free, with the final due date being December 23rd. So here's the key takeaway that I want you to remember. The best day to pay your credit card bill isn't always just your payment due date. Sometimes it is actually 2 days. First, a few days before your statement closing date. If your balance is too high relative to your limit and you need to make a larger payment to bring your utilization down. Secondly, anytime during your grace periods before the due date to pay off the remaining statement balance interest-free. Now, that leads me to a few questions. I know a lot of people are too embarrassed to ask about credit cards and credit scores. So, first question, what if I accidentally get a high credit utilization reported? First off, don't panic. Credit utilization is one of those things that really doesn't have a long memory in most credit scoring models. So if in 1 month your credit utilization spikes, whether by accident or because you charged more than usual, your score might drop temporarily. But the next month, if you get your utilization back down to the single digits, your score is going to bounce right back up. I've done this countless times over the years, and honestly, it is no big deal. Unless you're trying to hit an all-time high credit score for a mortgage, a loan, or a credit card, you really don't need to micromanage this every single month. For now, think of credit utilization as something that resets from month to month, which leads us to our next question. Should I leave a small balance on my cards? This one trips people up a lot. Some people think you need to leave a tiny balance like $20 so your score goes up. That is completely wrong. You never need to pay interest to improve your credit score. What you should focus on is your statement balance. Ideally, you want to keep your utilization low when your statement closes and then pay that balance in full by the due date to avoid interest. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. Our next question here is, what is the difference between my statement balance and my current balance? So, your current balance is the real-time total of everything you owe right now. It's what you see if you log into your card account right now. Your statement balance is a snapshot of what you owe at the end of a billing cycle. For example, my billing cycle was October 27th to November 26th. My total purchases were $5,097.28. I made a payment of $5,008.20, which left me with a statement balance of $89.08. So in this video, we've really focused on two of the biggest factors that impact your credit score. But there are still three more factors that you need to know about if you want the full picture. If your goal is to truly understand how all five factors work together and how to use them to boost your credit score significantly, then hit that subscribe button. Because in my upcoming videos, I'm going to break everything down step by step so you can take control of your credit like a pro. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. You got this.